Good evening. It's 1930 here in the Miraflores district of Lima, Peru. It's the 17th of May, 2025, and the sun's dropped behind the Pacific, and the shadows entrapped in deception just got a whole lot darker. Tonight's entry takes us into Chapter 4. Time to take him home and kill him. This isn't just the turning point, it's the kill switch. What started as a night out between two friends ends as a quiet execution. No gunshots, no dramatic confrontations, just poison, manipulation, and the calm hands of a sociopath guiding a dead man home. Shawn Larson isn't flying by instinct. He's following a blueprint. Lemont was never going to survive the night, and in this chapter, the tension isn't in what will happen, but when it will. Watch closely. Every word, every movement, every fake smile is a weapon. Chapter 4. Time to take him home and kill him. December 20th, 2014, 12:47 a.m. Lemont was very intoxicated after the evening's events. Shawn remained clear-headed. Shawn leaned towards Lemont. "Hey, bro, you have really been putting it away. Let me be your chauffeur tonight, and I'll call for a ride home from your place," Shawn said, pointing to the new Corvette. "You should be lucky to be seen in the same car as me, you pathetic pimple popper. People like you carry my bags for me to get a good tip." "Oh, man, thanks, Mike." "Do you think your Honda will be okay here?" Lemont countered. Shawn didn't smile, but responded with a gentle voice. "Yeah, it will be fine, buddy. We are friends, and I do not let anything happen to my friends. God tells us that we are our brother's keeper. We do unto others as we would have them do unto us. Your safety means more to me than one of my automobiles." "Yes, there you go, Lemont. Let me help you. You had fun, right? Do you need water or anything? My God, you are repulsive, you disgusting, hideous, fat slob. How do you manage to get your clothes on in the morning? You might be a computer genius, but you are functionally inept. When you were born, I bet the doctor slapped your mother instead of you." "No, Mike, I had a great time. Thanks a lot." Shawn carefully helped Lemont into the Corvette, offering kind words of encouragement. Lemont was so drunk that he could drink bleach and not know the difference. Shawn felt like he was stuffing a panda into a red box, and Lemont banged his head against the door, which Shawn found amusing, and he could not help but laugh. Shawn drove with care. He didn't want to draw attention to the bright red vehicle. When they arrived at Lemont's condominium, Shawn looked at the beach whale in a t-shirt and jeans and noticed the slobber spread all over Lemont while he formed slurred words. "Dude, you sure you do not want to smoke a joint with me?" Lemont offered, staring into the distance with soft eyes, with a hint of sadness. "I have some excellent stuff I get from this Jamaican guy. He called it Purple Kush." This guy really has no friends, does he? He would not be so clingy otherwise. "Lemont, you've had a lot to drink. I'll help you, and tomorrow we can plan the rest of your wonderful life. You earned it, man." "I do not do illegal drugs myself. My church is against it. Our body is the temple of God, and we must honor it." "Get a life, you fucking loser." "Oh, that's right. Your life is almost over." Lemont, intoxicated and poisoned, again fell on the car door before Shawn could get to him. He appeared to be attempting to stand, but it was difficult for him to see even when sober, given his spherical anatomy. Shawn grabbed Lemont's arm, straightened him up, and Lemont stumbled towards his home in a zigzag pattern. Shawn walked on Lemont's right side, allowing him to place a sweaty, bulbous arm over Shawn's body, to Shawn's disgust. He proceeded in steady, predatory steps, his hands gently guiding the unsuspecting sheep to slaughter. Shawn's gym-honed arms steadied him. This was from pumping iron in a local gym, as this was the closest thing he did to manual labor. This was a far cry from scrounging for work growing up. Conversely, Lemont lacked balance and grace. It looked like someone was playing pin the tail on the donkey the way Lemont stumbled in different directions. By the time they reached Lemont's condominium door just 50 feet away, a journey that took 5 minutes between burps, farts, and almost vomiting, Lemont was having trouble staying awake. And then Shawn smelled it. Lemont had peed in his pants. He reeked of urine. Shawn made a mental note to throw his clothes out and take an extra long shower tonight. "Thank you for being my friend, Mike," Lemont slurred. "The pleasure has been all mine," responded Shawn. "You better not puke all over me." As Lemont turned the key in the lock, Shawn smiled in anticipation. A hunter about to claim his prize. In the end, it was Shawn's steady hand that turned the lock. Shawn thanked God Lemont did not have a security system in this safe neighborhood because he could never have remembered the code for it. Lemont couldn't even stand up. Shawn helped Lemont upstairs, opened the door to the bathroom, and gave him a gentle shove to send him on his way. Lemont stumbled into his bed and mumbled, "You're the best, Mike." Shawn bolted downstairs, grabbed his backpack from the Corvette, sprinted to the main road, and hailed a cab. The taxi driver dropped him off at a gas station. All this was done without using his cell phone or any technology. Shawn had positioned a 2010 black Toyota Camry earlier in the day at a topless bar he often used to convince his clients to see things his way. It would be hard to find anyone who even remembered Shawn was there, much less someone who was willing to give an account to the police were they to come looking for clues there. He entered the gas station, bought a quart of water, and went to the restroom. Inside the restroom, Shawn changed into dark blue sweatpants and a jacket with white sneakers and a black cap. He casually made his way to the nightclub parking lot, ignoring some professional women busy trying to get their next client. Started in the Camry, which was parked between a pink Cadillac and a shiny blue Camaro, and rushed to the nearest Walmart, where he made a copy of Lemont's condominium keys. Shawn already had a copy of the car keys, and he would leave the car for the police to find anyway. Shawn paid cash for the keys and returned to Lemont's humble abode. Shawn retrieved marijuana and other recreational drugs from his personal collection in the trunk. He used Lemont's keys to get into the condominium and spread the illegal products throughout the Bohemian residence. It was actually a charming place. The latest technology could be found there, and every action figure a boy could dream of. You would never run into another person in your life who was like Lemont, who was more than 10 years of age, quipped Shawn. Shawn snapped out of his thoughts. It was time for the exit plan. Looking at his watch, he estimated the poison would have sufficient effect now. Such a small dose might not kill Lemont, but he would certainly be as high as a kite for a long time. However, Shawn needed to be sure. Shawn made his way down the long hallway filled with movie posters. Once he arrived at the bedroom door, he stopped with disgust at Spider-Man on a large poster, shooting a web at him. What kind of an idiot would idolize a man who had the powers of a bug? What a loser. He put on his latex gloves, slowly opened the door, and dared to look inside. Shawn approached the bed. Lemont was sprawled, face up, with a smile. He hadn't even taken his shoes off. He was disheveled and awkward on the bed. Lemont's breathing was so shallow it was hardly even noticeable. Death was coming. Well, Shawn would help him out if he needed it, he must be sure. Lemont's eyes opened and rolled back in his head. He grabbed his chest and tried to get up. Shawn grabbed each of Lemont's arms in his iron grip and did not let go until Lemont stopped moving. Shawn watched him and checked periodically for breathing. to which there was none. Satisfied, Shawn left the room, closing the door behind him. The autopsy report would show a mixture of alcohol, cocaine, and extreme obesity had killed this beached whale. The wolfsbane would not show up because there would be no reason for a medical examiner to look for it specifically. Lemont was in such poor health to begin with that his body did not put up much of a fight. It was as if it was saying, finally, put me out of my misery. Thank you, kind sir, and goodbye. Shawn quickly made his way down the stairs, methodically going over everything in his mind. He placed Lemont's keys by the front door in a basket that had some loose change and tissues and extracted the set he had just made. Closing the door behind him, Shawn carefully locked both locks. Who knows when the body will be discovered? Nobody else had keys to the place, according to what Lemont had told him, and people like Lemont were not clever enough to lie about things that would make them vulnerable. Lemont had used his real name, and everything he had told Shawn had checked out. A true candidate for the Darwin Award, in Shawn's not-so-humble opinion. Shawn took a moment to enjoy himself again. His plan had worked, and he smiled. After retrieving the gold from the Corvette and carefully placing it in a suitcase in the trunk of the Camry, Shawn wasted no time and began the 30-minute drive back to his house, driving carefully. Friedrich Chopin played from the CD player, and Shawn slowly smoked a cigarette and allowed himself a pull of whiskey from a flask in his black leather jacket pocket. He had, after all, just committed murder. The act itself didn't bother him. It was the consequences. Shawn felt the world had been done a favor, as Lemont belonged on the bottom of someone's shoe. But it was murder, according to the law. He looked at the time. It was 0200. He would have to return this car in a few hours to where it had been borrowed at the Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas airport long-term parking and take a cab home. Thank you for listening. If you're still reading with a pulse, you've seen how Chapter 4 ends. Quietly, coldly, with a smirk. Lemont didn't stand a chance. He was a brilliant mind with no survival instincts. A man drunk on false friendship and completely unaware of the noose tightening around his neck. Shawn didn't just kill him, he repurposed him. Twisted his home, his habits, even his corpse into part of a carefully crafted cover story. No remorse, no hesitation, just calculated closure. There's more coming, and if you thought this was ruthless, you haven't seen what happens when Shawn's web starts tightening around people who do see the danger. Visit kenweb69.com for more chapters, visuals, and inside access. This isn't your typical thriller, and Shawn Larson isn't your typical villain. Good night. See you next time. Ken Webb.